So the original upload of this video was taken down by YouTube, not for anything I said, but for something that was said and shown in the video I'm responding to. A video that is still up on YouTube. So I guess it's rules for me, but not for thee on this one. However, I have cut out the offending segments. And hopefully now this video will not get a strike or whatever the hell on YouTube. So we'll see how this one does. Thank you kindly. All right, got a couple of announcements before we begin. If you bought one of these, copies of the Douchebag Bible, that shit is going to be sent out mid-November. So that's when that's going to be hitting your mailbox or whatever, so be checking for that. If you ordered a painting, those will be shipped out probably tomorrow. The 3 orders that I got right now, those will be shipped out tomorrow. And so you could expect those relatively soon. One more announcement before we begin, which is that now is pretty much your last chance to get tickets for the Deep Fat Fried New Jersey meetup. You can meet yours truly. You can meet Paul's Ego. You can meet Scotty the Scorpion. You can meet the God Bombs. You can meet Goat versus Fish. You can meet all kinds of other people. All sorts of like-minded motherfuckers. We do a big old stage show, and then we spend the rest of the night just hanging out with you people, getting drunk, having a good time. So if you want to do that, get your tickets, link down below. That all being said, let's go ahead and talk about some prawn, because let me put this book back real quick. Here we go. Whoop. All right, cool. Hope you guys weren't too distracted by me momentarily sliding over there to put that book back. I know your attention spans are short. So anyway, let's talk about this. Someone sent me this video. This is an anti-prawn video. And we're going to take a look at it and see what we think. Let's dive right in, shall we?
Big booty Latinas. Busty milk.
I like it already. Big booty Latinas. Yeah, I agree with that. Busty Mills. I don't know why she's censored when her tits aren't even out. It's kind of weird. Like, you feel the need to take a fully clothed woman, blur her entirely, and then put a censorship bar over her already clothed tits. It's kind of a weird thing, kind of a weird vibe, but whatever.
Anime girls with a fat ass. These are the plights of many men. The
I don't know if it's really a plight. Seems kind of nice, but whatever.
insatiable itch to release the kraken. A temptation calls you like a siren luring a sailor to the depths of the sea. The serpent
Sweet. They need more porn of that.
seduces
Siren
you. Big
porn.
boobies, come to me. But all of these pixels that fill your screen have serious consequences, unforeseen. All right, enough of the
Really? Shit, I didn't know. Well, let's find out.
gay-ass poetry. I like big breasts.
Don't we all? Me too.
I like big-breasted grilled chicken and big...
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of chicken breasts. I mean, unless they're fried. But like the one you show on, I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. I wouldn't be like, nah, I'm not going to eat that. But, you know, I'm not excited to eat it.
breasted Latina women. And there's this
Wait, why was she not censored? she was no more or less clothed than the others, whatever.
website called Google where I can just type in those keywords and it's just there
Yeah.
for free. That sounds pretty awesome at first until
It sounds pretty awesome at first and then continues to sound awesome and then never stops being awesome. At least as far as I'm concerned, my personal experience, that continues to be awesome. But, you know, disabuse me of that notion. Go ahead.
you find out it's not. Oh, but watching porn is normal. Everybody does it. It helps you explore your sexuality. Shut up. Just
I mean, I don't know about all that. Helps you explore your sexuality. I don't know. I guess. Sure, why not? Yeah. I'll go with that.
stop the code. There's no way.
Is it cope? I mean, I don't really understand what's the cope. Hey, I like looking at big titties. There's some big titties. I think I'll jerk off to those now. Oh, that felt good. Now on with my day. Where's the cope? Where's the cope? Okay.
Fondling yourself to an ungodly amount of gorgeous naked women that you would normally never have access to is good for the human brain. I mean,
good for the human brain. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Wait. So in a world where our brains are literally filled with microplastics and barraged nonstop with the most dehumanizing news possible, and, you know, we drink fucking high fructose corn syrup and red dyes and whatever the fuck else, like all the horrible shit we do. You're going to fucking focus in on jerking off to big tits? Like, that's the big problem? Like, that's so far down the hierarchy of concerns, in my opinion. But hey, maybe you got a point. Let's hear.
What kind of cuckery is this? Why is she stuck in a cabinet? Before I get into the reasons I'm anti-porn, I want to go over some of the reasons that don't.
You can say porn. Like, I don't know why. People seem to overestimate YouTube censorship. Because, I mean, I've made videos where I've said the word porn before. You don't have to bleep it out. You don't have to call it corn or whatever the hell. Same thing with suicide. You can say suicide on YouTube. They don't really seem to give a shit. I don't know where the impression that they do give a shit came from. They don't. They're not stopping people. Most of the time, they don't even demonetize you for it. So you can say suicide. You can say porn. You can stop with this ridiculous, over-the-top censorship of every word that comes out of your mouth.
Contribute to my anti-corn position. Firstly, I'm not anti-porn due to any religious reasons. I'm not going to be reading you Bible verses to explain why corn is bad. I'm not going to be using Jesus as a cockblock. I'm also not anti-porn due to any feminist reason. I understand there are a lot of different types of feminism, some that encourage pornography use and others that are...
Did you literally just say cornography? Absurd.
Strictly against it. My perspective may coincidentally align with certain types of feminism. That's not what this video is centered around, nor is it the foundation of my beliefs. Kind of similar to this point, I'm also not anti-porn due to me being sex negative or due to the belief that women or men should never be viewed sexually. Humans are animals, and women are hot. Sexual desire is a natural response. It's how humanity reproduces. People see hotness.
Sure.
And they want to fuck. Getting rid of sexual desire would end reproduction. We need it. It's important. It's not inherently a bad thing. The way I was personally first exposed to adult content was by hearing people at school joke about this one particular film all the time. I didn't know what it was, but it kept being brought up and I was tired of not getting the joke. So eventually I looked it up. Why was it that easy for a 13-year-old to get access to adult content? All I had to do was Google it. I didn't have to make an account. I didn't have to verify my age. I just Googled the title and there it was. And I think a lot of people have a similar first experience to this. Someone at school is talking about it and you look it up just out of curiosity. And before you know...
I mean, hey, even back in the day, before the internet was ubiquitous, because I mean, I'm probably the last bastion of a generation that didn't grow up terminally online. But even back in the day, like, Hustler magazines and stuff like that were not that hard to get a hold of, you know? Like, it wasn't that big of a deal to swipe one of your dad's Hustler magazines or whatever the fuck, you know? You find it. I mean, for me, I just found a big stack of Hustlers and Penthouses in my stepdad's fucking bathroom underneath the sink, you know, behind some towels. So if you're a little snoopy bastard, you'll find that shit. And even if you're not a snoopy bastard, guarantee one of your classmates is. And they'll bring that shit right to school. Be like, check out the titties on this bitch, you know? And that's camaraderie. That's how it was back in my day.
Know what you're on an adult content website sometimes before you even hit the age of puberty. Pornography is way too accessible. The average age of...
I mean, this is a totally different argument, though. This is like, okay, you can make an argument of pornography is too accessible to underage people, and that's fine. But that's not the same thing as an anti-pornography argument for adults. Like, this video does not say I'm anti fucking access to porn for kids. This video says reasons I'm anti-porn. But you're not really making that argument right now. Maybe you're going to. But as of now, you're not. Hold on. And I'm back. Had to get the door.
Exposure is 13 years old, but it's not uncommon for children to see it between the ages of 8 to 10. This is...
I did. And I did before the internet. So... And so did a shit ton of my classmates. Like, it's not that hard to fucking find, even in the days before the internet. You know, you just swipe one of your dad's dirty magazines, swipe one of his VHSs, whatever. And even if your dad's not a fucking pervert, one of your friends' dad's a fucking pervert, and you'll be able to get it that way. You know, it wasn't hard to get even prior to the internet's existence.
Is a new problem that has developed since pornography has become available on the internet.
Nope, not a new problem. Sorry to tell you.
There was a time when accessing adult content was exclusive to adults.
No, that's you speak from a total lack of experience. As someone who actually grew up in I mean, the internet was around, but it was like AOL dial-up. And then, even if you found a fucking porn site, there was no video. And if there was, I mean, if you looked at a fucking JPEG, that shit took fucking 3 hours to load. It was like, So, the internet was not the place where you went in those days for that kind of shit. You stole your dad's fucking hustler. Or you looked at your friend who fucking stole their dad's hustler. You know, he'd be like, look at these titties. Look at that ass. Like, that's how that shit went back in the day.
You had to go to a store, show an ID, and purchase a physical disc or tape. It was behind a paywall, it was behind an age restriction, it required going out in public and buying a product to take home with you, which meant that oftentimes you'd have to go out of your way to find a hiding place for it too. I'd like to...
Yep, and then your kid finds the hiding place. Because your kid's a little fucking snoopy ass bitch.
Think there was
Unless you're gonna fucking lock it in a damn, but even if you do, even if you lock it up perfectly, your kid can't access it. Some other kid at their school is gonna have a dad who doesn't fucking give a shit and just fucking throws that shit under the sink or throws it in a drawer somewhere or tucks it in some corner of the closet, and them kids gonna find it and they're gonna bring it to school and they're gonna show it off. That's what happened. I lived that shit. So this fanciful notion that like right away, the premise is false. Sorry to tell you.
Level of caution and selectivity used with this process. People were more conscious and deliberate with their consumption. People would buy maybe a film or two at a time and then watch it repeatedly. They may have slowly grown a collection over time, but it's not like access to literally millions of videos were available at the click of a button.
I guess that's true. But, like, what does it really matter? You know, if you find one hustler, which, by the way, I don't know if you're familiar with, like, the contents of Hustler magazine, but that shit was every bit as smutty and nasty as most corners of the internet, you know? And they would, you could even find, like, the deep fakes. I remember a hustler that I stole from my stepdad, you know, because he thought he hit it well, but he didn't. I remember stealing that shit and opening it up, and there was like a picture of like a Alanis Morissette, like a Photoshop of Alanis Morissette fucking gagging on some cum. Like it wasn't that hard to find.
Wasn't this infinite access to novelty that there is now. The point I'm making here is that there were barriers in between the consumer and the product.
Yeah, there were barriers. That's a fair point. But those barriers were not anywhere near as effectual as you're making them out to be.
Completely different from how pornography is accessed today, because now a literal infinite catalog is available in our pockets at all times.
True.
Any adult or kid with a smartphone can watch it at any time.
Are there not like parental locks and shit? Like, why does your kid even have a fucking smartphone in the damn first place? one of my first questions. Like, why is there this emphasis? Like, I read somewhere that like kids have access to like fucking multiple devices by the time they're 3. They got like a tablet and a phone. Like, why? Like, that's stupid. Just don't give it to them. Don't let them have it.
It's free. There's no digital footprint. You don't have to make an account. You can just pop open that private browser.
In a lot of states, that's not true anymore, by the way. I mean, a lot of states now, you try to go to Pornhub or something like that, and it's like, give us your ID.
Browser tab and type in whatever your mind can come up with. And just to show you how commonly these websites are accessed, Pornhub, which is the most popular out of all of them, is ranked number 18 in the top visited sites. To put that into perspective,
I mean, doesn't that kind of undercut your whole thing earlier about how saying it's normal is just cope? Because I feel like if it's accessed that much, that kind of indicates that it is pretty normal to access. Like if it's like literally top 20 websites on the internet.
It's ranked just...
I mean, it's above Netflix in this fucking chart right here. Look at that. Beats Netflix, baby. Like, what you gonna do?
Under TikTok and Netflix. Really take a...
Well, it was above Netflix in that fucking graphic, but I think you had a little disclaimer that corrected that.
Second to let that sink in. And by the way, this list was updated in 2025 after Pornhub had already been age restricted in 17 states. I'm sure it was ranked even higher before half of the United States got cock blocked because...
No one was actually cock blocked because it's like, that would assume that like the majority of Americans don't know how to use a VPN. Not only that, it's not like it's the only game in town.
Didn't want to upload a photo of their ID. Boinking releases the most amount of natural dopamine compared to any other activity besides doing actual drugs. Pornography
Drugs are cool. I like drugs too. I'm sure you're also anti those.
Has quite the gorilla grip on our reward system because it's essentially an infinite catalog of new mates and sexual stimulus. It hijacks the highest dopamine producing activity that humans have access to. Pornography is addictive. There are dozens.
Duh. So what? Social media is addictive. Social media fucking exploits your dopamine. Arguing online with morons exploits your dopamine. Pretty much any form of entertainment is accessing your dopamine system. You know, you wouldn't enjoy a movie, you know, some sci-fi movie or some first-person shooter or whatever. Like, all that stuff accesses your dopamine centers. That doesn't mean that it's all bad. Doesn't mean that it's all good. But everything accesses dopamine.
Of studies proving this.
Not everything in existence, but everything that entertains you does.
It reduces the amount of gray matter in the brain, which is responsible for self-control and decision-making, alters neuroplasticity in the reward system.
Everything alters neuroplasticity. The whole reason that you have neuroplasticity is because your brain is adaptable. If we didn't have neuroplasticity, we wouldn't be adaptable to new situations. We would just be slaves to our natural instincts. So just saying something affects neuroplasticity is not scary. Everything affects neuroplasticity. Literally everything. Everything you do. You know, that's why if you practice something, you get better at it. If you sit around playing Tetris all day, and all of a sudden you notice, hey, I'm getting better at Tetris, that's because your neuroplasticity has been affected. That's because your brain has started to adapt. Hey, I'm being applied to this activity an awful lot. So I guess I should devote more brain power to this.
Leading to desensitization and cravings. There was a study done where men were exposed to the same erotic film repeatedly, and they found there was a progressive decrease in arousal.
Well, yeah, because it's not as novel anymore. Human beings are novelty-seeking creatures. Once again, not unusual. This is just basic neuroscience shit. And none of this is exclusive to pornography.
As soon as they were presented with a new film, that sexual arousal spiked again. A tolerance is developed to sexual stimuli. It's the biological tendency to desire sexual novelty. This is something that internet pornography offers a literal infinite amount of. Gives you something that you cannot get in real life. Like,
I like how the whole time she's doing this, she's drawing some hot naked dude. It's kind of I don't know. Does that jive? Like, internet pornography is fucked up. By the way, here's this super muscly dude getting bit by a snake. Butt naked.
Porn addiction is such a unique issue to break is because of the reason I spoke about before this, the accessibility. Just consider how any other vice works. If someone's addicted to cigarettes, they have to go to a physical store, spend their hard-earned money on it, and they're only able to smoke at certain periods throughout the day. When it comes to
isn't that a tragedy?
Porn addiction, there aren't any of these barriers between the vice and the addicted.
I mean, that's not true at all. You can't just be, I guess you could be sitting on a city bus and just pull up some porn, but the people around you might have something to say about that. You can't just any time, day or night, just fucking like, all right, time to wax the old carrot. It's like, what are you doing? This is a funeral, sir. Like, of course there's fucking barriers. You're not alone all the time. But also, you're not horny all the time. No one's just sitting around minding their own business, fucking not even remotely horny, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I think I'm going to jerk off to a little pornography right about now.
Free and it's in your pocket, so the temptation is always there. This is how you end up with people getting caught watching ography at work. This is how you end up with teenagers struggling with ography addiction because there was...
I'm confused. Now it's just ography? That could be geography. You can't just shorten it to ography. Just say it. Just say the fucking word. Jesus.
Wasn't an effective age restriction. There was never any barrier between them and the vice. I mean, what other addiction is available to you 24/7 for free? A cigarette addict who is trying...
I mean, it's not really free. You still have to pay for your fucking internet. You still have to pay for the fucking phone in your pocket or the laptop or the desktop or the tablet or whatever device. It's not free.
Trying to beat their cigarette addiction would never keep a pack of cigs in their back pocket. And
that's not true. I actually know a guy. I don't know him, but there was a bar in my local area where this dude, he kept a cigarette right tucked in his ear the whole, all the time. And it was because he quit. And he's like, it comforts me to know it's there. So that's not even fucking true.
Now you're thinking, okay, we get it. Porn addiction is bad. But hey,
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't feel like you've laid out the case at all, but I don't know. You're not done yet, so.
I'm not addicted. I don't watch it that often. I can stop whenever I want. Well, here's the thing. Studies have shown that addiction is not a requirement to be negatively affected by porn exposure. Whether or not someone has a true definitive addiction is irrelevant because the same brain-altering effects occur regardless. Even men who were categorized as not addicted to porn were found to have addiction-related brain changes. Addicted or not.
Yeah, but just saying that you have brain changes is not enough to make a case that it's bad. Because like I said, so many activities, almost every activity is going to fucking implement brain changes. You ever heard of the concept of priming? They'll do experiments where they'll bring someone in for a job interview, and before the job interview, they'll hand the person conducting the interview a hot beverage. And if they're holding a hot beverage, they're going to have a better impression of the person they're talking to. Because that's how fucking easily the brain is fucking hacked. So, I mean, like, just saying, like, something causes brain changes, that holding a hot beverage causes brain changes. The way you're sitting causes brain changes. The clothes you're wearing causes brain change. Everything you do causes changes in the brain. That don't mean shit. That ain't enough.
Your little monkey brain still has cravings, seeks it out, becomes desensitized, and develops a tolerance. This whole idea of, I just watch it until I feel satiated is complete bogus because you will need progressively more of it to feel satiated. 1 second you get a hard-on from watching two girls kiss, and in the next you're watching a horse lay pie. Going back to this example of cigarettes, we've seen a gradual decline in cigarette use over...
No, not for me.
over time as there has been more intervention. Banning of advertisements, graphic cigarette warning labels, health education, all of these things have contributed to a decline in use. Who's to say we couldn't see a similar trend for pornography use if the...
I mean, that's already happening. There's already laws being passed in certain states to require ID for this shit. But you know what? People are clever. They get the VPN. They go bypass the law. Not a big deal.
Right interventions were made. Advertising for cigarettes is literally banned.
Also, you know, these are kind of two different things. I mean, I get that you're trying to compare an addiction to an addiction, and that's fair to an extent. But let's remember something here. Pornography is tapping into human sexuality, which is so innate and so inborn and so hardwired into the... There's no hard wiring in the brain for, like, I need tobacco. Like, that is a chemical dependency.
And in the United States. This is why you never see Marlboro ads on the internet.
Although I think you should be able to see Marlboro ads on the internet. So, I mean, I would say that not only am I against the hypothetical prohibition of pornography that you're talking about, but I'm also against the actual prohibition of cigarette companies to advertise. If the product is legal, if the product can be sold in stores, then the product should be allowed to be advertised.
It's illegal. You can't promote addictive cigarettes in the media.
That's not 100% true anyway. There are certain types of ads for cigarettes you still can show. You could show an advertisement for cigarettes in a magazine that someone purchased, for instance. But you can't have a big billboard out in the public square for it, although I think you should be able to. You can't show a television commercial for it, although I think you should be able to. But you know what? None of this matters because the cigarette companies found ways around that pretty damn quick. You know, they just have the character in the movie smoke the cigarette, the cool guy who doesn't give a fuck, who, you know, kicks the bad guy's ass, and then afterwards, yeah, beat that son of a bitch. You know, like, they don't give a fuck.
Imagine if we extended this logic to pornography. Imagine if we...
I mean, I don't even think the logic should be where it is on cigarettes.
Banned pornography off the internet and made it so that you could only purchase it on a disc or drive.
See, I hate this kind of mentality because it basically just says that human beings are incapable of making their own decisions. They're incapable of controlling their own lives. They're just at the mercy of advertising and brainwashing and all this other stuff. And there's no way that they can have awareness of these things. There's no way that they can control themselves, right? Which is bullshit. Also, it's bullshit that we target cigarettes for these kind of things because, you know, one of the big problems in America is the obesity epidemic. People overeating, eating too much fucking garbage, eating a bunch of processed fucking foods. And we still allow that to be advertised. You can't even turn on the TV without seeing an advertisement for fucking Pizza Hut's new, you know, deep dish stuffed crust, garlic, butter, whatever the fuck, you know? And that's still fine. We still allow that.
In a physical store. And then imagine that change in combination with also making advertising it on the internet illegal as well.
I mean, you don't really see too much advertising for pornography, honestly. Like, do you? I don't really see it. I'm not like scrolling through fucking Instagram or whatever, and then it's like, hey, come to... You know, I don't even remember seeing a fucking ad. I guess there have been some. Like, I'm not saying it's non-existent, but like, it's not really super prevalent in my experience. Maybe it's more prevalent for you. I don't know.
Entire pornography industry collapses with just two regulations. Ban it on the internet, ban advertising it on the internet. And people...
Yeah, if you banning it on the internet would be the most ludicrous fucking possible step you could possibly take. You're taking something that's being, like, it's literally the, like, number 19, number 18 ranked website on the internet is And that's just one of fucking countless fucking websites that peddle this shit. And you think you're just going to put that genie back in the bottle? Like, how's that going to work? People are just still going to view it. All of these prohibitions never fucking work. It's like saying, oh, we're going to prohibit alcohol. Like, think about all the boundaries and barriers that were set up against alcohol during the Prohibition era. It was a physical product that you had to go out and buy. It was a product that if you were caught making it, you were in serious trouble. It was a product that you could not go buy legally at any fucking store unless you had a prescription, because there was medicinal whiskey and stuff like that. But still, people drank like fish. It didn't stop them. Prohibition does not work. It simply doesn't. History bears that out.
People will hear my solution and call it extreme, but I don't think it is at all.
I'm not even going to call it, I mean, I guess it is extreme, but that's not even really the main issue. The main issue is it wouldn't fucking work. It's ineffectual.
I'm not saying to ban the production or usage of corn entirely. I'm not saying to make it illegal to use or sell.
I wouldn't be opposed to being banned, though, is what that little thing behind me says.
I'm just arguing for it to be removed from the internet.
I mean, you're going to ban it. Do you not know that there are fucking countless morons who are just slightly to the right of you on this issue that would look at what you've just drawn and say, that's pornography, that's indecent, that promotes lustful thoughts? What are you going to do? Ban fucking pencils? Fucking moron.
Kids are getting a hold of it. Even if you age restrict a website, it doesn't matter. These kids grew up on the internet. They know how to use a VPN.
Duh, exactly. Yes.
What do addicts trying to beat their addiction typically say? I wish I never would have.
Why is it the responsibility of society to save the addict from themselves? And why only in this instance? I can still buy a fucking cigarette. I can still buy a greasy fucking artery clogging cheeseburger. I can still buy a bottle of booze. And even though it's illegal, I can also buy a lot of other substances to fuck my brain up. I can go buy a tab of acid. I can go buy some mushrooms. I can buy some fucking heroin. I can buy cocaine. All of these things still available to me.
Started. The best way to avoid addiction is to never expose yourself in the first place. And for most things...
Okay. Then that's your own personal fucking decision and your own personal responsibility, or the responsibility of your parent, depending on your age. That is not the responsibility of all of society to try to stop people from engaging in vices. And it's been tried. Like, it doesn't matter how draconian you get, how cruel you fucking make the punishments. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. People will indulge in vices no matter fucking what. No matter what.
There are very effective barriers to prevent this.
No, there isn't. There's no fucking effective barriers to prevent this. There's no effective barriers. And you're proving it right now with your goddamn drawing. All you have to do, add a big old fucking erect penis to this guy, which, by the way, that snake is already a metaphor for in the first place. Add a big throbbing dick to this naked dude, and he is pornography. So what are we going to do? Ban every artist? Ban pencils? Ban people from drawing things we don't like? Ban people from writing things we don't like? Ban people from filming things we don't like? Ban people from doing anything we don't like?
You can't go to the gas station as a 9-year-old and buy cigarettes, but you can watch a busty Latina getting absolutely fucked.
Yeah, if your parents don't give a shit and let you just have unrestricted access to a cell phone or a tablet or the internet in general. But you could also see a lot worse shit. You know, you could go watch gore videos. Go watch people get fucking butchered. Go watch people get their brains blown out. There's no fucking barrier.
Combination of addictability and accessibility is a recipe for problems. Pornography should be regulated just like any other age-restricted substance or activity.
And it is. Maybe you don't think those barriers are enough, and that's, I guess, debatable. But to just say that, you can create these super effective barriers, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can take it to any extent you want, all the way to just like pornography is a death sentence. If you look at porn, we kill you. It's still not going to stop people. It just isn't. Sorry.
Just like alcohol, cigarettes, and strip clubs, there's a variety of both anecdotal and empirical evidence suggesting that corn consumption negatively affects intimate relationships. When you view
So this is actually the first point that she's made that is actually borne out by science. Because people get so well, she'll explain it. And I'll agree with it because it's true.
A lot of pornography, you can develop a preference for watching it over having intercourse with a real partner. The brain becomes conditioned over time to achieve arousal through pixels on a screen rather than a real person. Sexual boredom is very common in a relationship of porn users because porn offers more novelty and stimulus than one partner can. Studies have shown...
Well, not only that, but human beings are not biologically predisposed to monogamy, despite what, society has foisted upon us. So, like, this problem of my partner doesn't bring enough novelty to the equation is not something that's exclusive to pornography, although pornography can exacerbate it. This is just something that's innate to human beings. Like, there's a reason why, you read your Bible. You're not going to use the Bible to make your arguments, but I'll use it to make mine. You look at figures like King Solomon. King Solomon was not a one-woman man. He had like 300 wives and something like 800 concubines, I believe, because variety is the spice of life,
that couples where neither party used porn reported higher levels of relationship satisfaction than when either partner did use it. Beyond this
Which is totally fair. That's true. She's not lying about that.
Empirical evidence, there's also just the simple fact that pornography use removes the pair bonding, loving, fulfilling experience of building a strong, intimate relationship. There's no real emotional connection being made with pornography use. You're just trying to bust a nut. Since I know there's gonna be some goofballs in the comment section, well, actually, porn is good because it lowers the rate of sexual assault by giving men an outlet for their impulses.
That's true, actually. I don't know if that's borne out by data, but I assume it probably is, because there's a whole shit ton of fucking weird dudes out there that are never gonna get a chick. Like, come on, they're not gonna get a chick. Like, dudes that just, they got nothing going on. They got nothing financially going on. They got nothing intellectually going on. They got nothing artistically going on. They have no really redeeming factors whatsoever. They're just bland, unlikable, fucking hate-filled, whatever the fuck they are. And yeah, those guys probably should, have an outlet, because if they don't have an outlet like jerking off to some fucking big-tittied fucking hentai or whatever, then they're probably going to, find other outlets that are even more socially deleterious.
Hold on, let me just go ahead and debunk this. In order to have definitive and conclusive proof to this claim, you would have to observe individuals' pornography use and then essentially allow them to go commit crimes. This is obviously
right, which is why you can't really conduct a study like that. Although you, I guess, could look at overall social trends and see if, the prevalence of pornography use has correlated with lower sexual assault rates or something like that. But even then, you're going to have so many other variables in the equation, it's going to be very hard to draw a definitive conclusion.
Entirely unethical. So this is a study we will never see. Real conclusive proof to this goofy claim is something you will never have, so you can stop pretending like you do. And
yeah, I'm just going to go with it, though. I'm pretty sure that's just true. Like, if there's a dude out there that's just, like, not sexually desirable on any level, No chick wants to fuck him. He's just a nasty bastard. You know, he's got nothing going on. He ain't got no money. He ain't got no prospects. He's just a fucking loser. His hygiene's terrible. Whatever. Just across the board, nothing. No desirable attributes whatsoever. You know, I mean, that dude, is he going to be like, all right, I would rather him be, okay, time to play more Fortnite or whatever, you know, rather than like, I guess I'm just going to have to take it. Now, can we prove that connection for the reasons you already talked about? No, not really. But anyway, you're showing a study here. Let's figure out what this is about.
People bring up this meta-analysis. It's the first one that pops up when you Google this topic. And in the abstract, it says, evidence did not suggest that non-violentography was associated with sexual aggression. And yeah, this might be a valid argument, except that it leaves out the fact that the majority of ography is violent. And even...
No. No, it's not. What are you talking about? This is the problem with talking about a subject you don't have any fucking... I mean, like, no. Most pornography is just a chick getting plowed. Like, to this day, most of it's just like, I'm gonna stick my big dick in you. And she's saying, yes, please do. I like big dicks in me. And that's the content, right? I'm not saying that there isn't more violent stuff out there. Of course there is.
In the next sentence, it confides, violentography was weakly correlated with sexual aggression. It's pretty hilarious.
Weakly, it says, though.
So people will make the claim where even their own evidence suggests that there's a correlation, regardless of how weak it was in this particular analysis. And
I mean, it's a huge meta-analysis, as you said, so, you know, I mean... But I mean, to me, this is just like revisiting a lot of the stuff we talked about in the 90s, where it's like, does violent music correlate to violence? Maybe. Does violent video games correlate to real life violence? Maybe. Well, we need to ban this stuff. You know, how is this any different than Senator Joseph Lieberman standing in front of the Senate and holding a copy of Antichrist Superstar and saying, this is fucking sick? Like, come on.
By the way, there have been many other meta-analysis done that do show a strong correlation. But then the most grimy part...
Wait. Why aren't you showing those then? Why'd you show that one? When many others have been done that do... Well, show those. Let's see them.
At the end, it says, population studies suggest...
No, we're going to stick with this one that doesn't say that. Okay.
That increased availability of ography is associated with reduced sexual aggression at the population level. This statement is so misleading. People will read...
Is it? Why? Tell me.
And actually draw the conclusion that ography use lowers sexual aggression without even recognizing how retarded of a correlation this is. If you look at the increased availability of ography, you'll also find it's associated with increased gun deaths at the population level. Does that mean ography causes gun violence?
Maybe. Who knows? That's the problem with this kind of analysis and this kind of study, is that there's so many fucking, like, when you treat all of society as the experiment ground, yes, there are too many variables to draw fucking conclusions. But the problem is, you're drawing the opposite conclusions just as strongly as they're drawing their conclusions. So it's like, yeah, correlation doesn't equal causation, but it doesn't exclude it either. So, yeah, I mean, maybe pornography use is tied to higher gun deaths. Probably not, but it could be, and there's really no way for us to know.
No, just because one thing goes down and another thing goes up during a certain time period does not mean that the two things are correlated whatsoever.
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet that the study you're citing probably had stronger evidence for their conclusions than just correlation. They probably had some mitigating factors and some other variables taken into account there. I mean, it wouldn't be a very good meta-analysis if they didn't.
This population claim does not prove anything. As ography became more available, we also had...
I like how her science is allowed to be completely fucking spurious and conjecture-based, but everyone else's science has to be air fucking tight.
Smartphones, access to call 911 at any point in time. There's more surveillance than there's ever been. There's more policing than there's ever been.
What's
to
this?
just jump to the conclusion that sexual aggression is lowered because of ography use is so goofy and unfounded. It's unreal. I really want to make an entire video devoted to debunking this one myth, so I'm not going to go into it any further.
Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to it.
But just know that for every one study you find that suggests a negative correlation between ography use and aggression, there are 2 more studies that show a positive correlation.
Then show those fucking studies, dipshit. Like, what a stupid fucking argument. What a stupid video. I'm going to show you the study that says there is no correlation, so I can debunk it. But just know there are other studies out there that show there is a correlation. And after she just got done saying that correlation doesn't equal causation. I mean, the standard of evidence here just shifts wildly depending on the needs of the moment, doesn't it? Okay.
I've gone over a lot of logical reasons as to why corn is not good for...
I must have missed those. I caught one. I heard one, which is the way it affects relationships. And even for that, I had some caveats.
Society. I've used statistics, studies, and various rationales to come to this conclusion.
Okay.
But there's something else to this. Something a bit more philosophical. I saved this for last.
Philosophy. I love, this is my favorite shit. When we get out of all the studies and data and we get into the philosophical realm, this is the fun part for me. When we get into the subjectivities, let's do this. I'm excited. Let's go.
That's because technically speaking, it's the most subjective out of all my other arguments, but I would take the personal position that it's the most important. Even after laying out crystal clear arguments for the last 15 minutes, there will still be...
No, your arguments sucked. They were garbage. I'm sorry to tell you. But maybe your philosophical argument will be better.
People in my comment section insisting that I am wrong. Well, actually, there's this one study done by this dumb bitch named Nicole Pratt. Hold on. You're defending a behavior that has no long-term benefits to you or society. Your position of...
Yeah, so what? So what? I mean, first of all, you don't know that for sure. But I don't know the opposite for sure. But so what? Like, tons of behaviors have no demonstrable benefits for society. We've already gone over a bunch of them. Eating fast food, being addicted to social media, creating YouTube videos, drawing naked dudes, getting bitten by snakes. Like, come on, there's a ton of stuff out there. Most things that human beings engage in, other than the things that directly feed, clothe, and shelter them, have no demonstrable benefit to society. Everything else we do is just superfluous, and we do it for fun. And I think fun does have value to society. Kind of makes life worth living, don't you think?
Argumentation is fundamentally hedonistic. You are arguing in defense of short-term gratification, self-indulgence, and pleasure-seeking. What kind...
Yes, correct. Absolutely. That is true.
What kind of society do you want to live in? Do you really...
One that doesn't shit on those things. One where gratification and pleasure and fun and that kind of thing is not poo-pooed by stodgy bitches with bad arguments who are drawing fucking things that their fellow anti-porn crusaders would probably consider porn in the background of their videos as they hypocritically shift the standard of evidence and move the goalposts all over creation. That's my ideal society.
Want to defend and promote a behavior like this? The drawing that you see in this video was of a sculpture called The Lacoon and His Son.
I noticed you left the dick out. I like the dick. Leave the dick in next time.
You can see in his face a mixture of agony and betrayal as he is
I
attacked.
think he's also a little aroused, though. I see a little bit of him of like, ooh, ah. But I don't know. Maybe that's just my porn brain.
By the serpent surrounding him. I chose to sketch this particular sculpture for a reason. The serpent being a common religious and cultural symbol of lustful desire. I'm aware that the actual historical depiction of this sculpture means something very different, but when I see it, I see a man fighting the temptation and seduction which seeks to destroy him.
I see a man who is like, ooh woo, snake daddy, bite me good. So we all have our different interpretations, don't we? Yes.
See psychological warfare depicted in the physical realm. So before you go performing some mental gymnastics to try to justify watching these gay-ass cuckumentaries, really take a second to ask yourself what it is you are so vehemently defending. Every day is a battle.
I am vehemently defending the right of people to jerk off to pornography. It's really not complicated. It's a fairly simple position. People like big tits and big asses and big dicks, and they like seeing those things interact with one another, and they should be able to do that and stimulate themselves in the process. That's what I'm defending. It's not a difficult position to grasp. It's fairly self-explanatory.
Against what external forces want for you. It goes further than just pornography use. Every day, cheap pleasure is offered to you on a silver platter. Every day.
Cool. Yeah, that's one of the few things about the society I like.
You have the choice to resist.
Yeah, well, I choose not to. You're trying to, and it's funny that you mentioned choice because it seems like you're trying to deprive people of choice. I'm all right with having the choice. And if I make the bad choice, oh well, c'est la vie.
To be stronger than these urges, to transcend these animalistic desires. This is what separates human from beast.
Okay, well, that's great, but no thank you.
Remove your hand from your dick. Thank you.
My hand was on my dick this whole time. All right, well, there's that. What a piece of fucking dog shit that was. Thank you for sending that to me, whoever sent it. Hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, come to the New Jersey meetup. See me there. Love you all. Bye-bye. And keep touching your penises.